Hello and welcome back to Motorsport Manager and the Sailing Speed Stars and our first season in the GT Challenger series in our beautiful green car. We're doing quite nicely. Our marketability is already up to 66%. We've only had 2 races. Everything about us, although our drivers are now not the worst, you see, and we've got Frankie driving as one of our first drivers. Oakham do have incredibly poor starting drivers. They have quite nice cars, certainly in terms of the parts. For the start, for a low tier team at the start. The team that's really interesting me is Magyar. They're down at the bottom. They've got very nice cars. Now one of their drivers, Minzo, we actually look back to the last event, because I've been thinking about this a little bit. 2 drivers tried to do a one-stop strategy. One of them was Pernay, who came in 7th, so it seemed to work out kind of okay, and Orleans, as you can see, came 7th and 8th. That's pretty much where you'd expect them to be. Minze tried it, and he bottled it halfway through, and he got to lap 14, remember, on his soft tyres, and probably could have made it. I don't know why he switched to super softs and lumbered himself with an extra pit stop of about 20 seconds, which took him, he would have been, I don't know how long a pit stop is, but he could have been up here, certainly could have been up here, but for his change. And that's why you kind of want to stick to the strategy that you go out for, especially I find with the fueling. But this is something we can work on. We now have the Munich Grand Prix in 24 days, which is quite a nice little break. Where gearboxes, suspension are crucial and engine is useful, and the weather forecast is just cloud, 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 which means we don't really know. Fuel burn at the circuit is very low and tyre wear is very low. It's a 29 lap race. I'm going to try desperately to remember that. 29 laps. Might even write it down. And here's all that information in big. But back to business. Here we are. We've still got the mailbox full from the last race, including the report on qualifying. Car condition came through pretty well. 36 hours to fix. We will have an interview after needing to make some rather hasty repairs to Thomas's engine in the pits. Is it a sign that you're not focused enough on your car's reliability? We absolutely did not have to do any engine repairs in the pits. Our repair plan, i.e. keep that suspension alive, paid off beautifully. It's true I'm going to try and improve that for the next race. My mechanics need to get their act together. They're the ones who improve the car, not me. That's going to upset the mechanics. I'm doing a great job. My mechanics are doing a great job. We simply need more funding for the better factory. Chairman might not like that. Sometimes he likes it when you talk about expansion and the future, but I don't think he'll like that. And I think if I say this one, if I blame it on myself, the chair, that's going to affect something negative. I don't want to risk. We'll go for that one. We'll take 5% off the chairman. The top one could have been marketability, and you really don't want to risk taking what could be anything up to 20% hit. Manage your pit crew. We don't really need to. There you go. Look, fuel only pit stops. Sorry, tyre only pit stops. 4.7 seconds. Little bit slower than our record. No mistakes. We are doing excellently. And Olin won. And there you go. Landvik just behind him. 8 seconds behind him. That's quite a gap, I guess. Pit crew. Well done, guys. I hope you enjoyed the beers I put in for you. Constanti. Let's have a look at you. Graham Constanti. We like you. You're a bit tired. Your mistake chance is now up to 2.5%. So we're going to give you a little break. We're going to switch you. Fixing is probably becoming less important race by race, whereas refueling is quite a constant. I don't really like that guy being that low. We're still doing beautifully for money. We're going to change that income. That's not quite right. Oh, that's because that's without the bonus we got, I think, for race position. Did we get a bonus in that game? No, we didn't. I'm not sure why that's showing more of a loss for the next race than we did on the race before. But not to, sometimes it's a little bit inaccurate. It doesn't include all the sponsorship money quite correctly. But we won't dwell. We'll look for a member of the pit crew No. No. God, they're all. I've got to remember how early on we are, and it will. These guys will get better as we progress. I just don't like the low stamina. But we need to get somebody in, even if he's crap at this stage. To be fair, 5-9, 70%. Oh God, 7%. That one. No, we must have somebody who can do something. I think we're just going to go with one of the present team, really. We will go. What we're going to do is put M. Bejalou. You have no Christian name. Sorry, mate. We're going to put you in for fixing there, and we're going to put you back in there. I think 62% is risky. Let's have a look. No, it's still a low mistake chance, but it won't be by the end of the next race. I don't know. I'm happy with that. We're not going to fire anybody yet. And before we do, remember, we're going to check our loyalty score. It's gone down to 7 from 8 because we had a bit of a driver clear out, didn't we? Anyway, we need to get the car repaired. It is done, is it? No. The engine's not ready for 10 days, which is plenty of time before the race. We will probably try to get a gearbox done if we've got time. So we just need to get that car repaired. So let's get that done and then see where we are here. I think over 80% on the brakes is fine, especially as they're the standard brakes. We definitely want to get the reliability up on that suspension. And to be honest, many of these parts are going to be getting replaced quite soon. We're going to put that in for repair, and we'll put this one in for performance, just at a very low rate. Even just, can we go, so it's, yeah, 1 a day. And then we got just over 3% onto this, because this is the priority. That's telling us that's going to be at 100% reliability, and that would be at its maximum performance, 43, well before the race, but they're not going to be there. We'll change things around by then. Right, if we just look at we come back to the driver's screen, we are going to look for, I really would like another reserve driver. Right, Daisy's being scouted, but she looks like she might be quite expensive because she's a reasonably decent driver. We want someone cheap and cheerful. You look like you're probably quite good. We'll put you on the scouting queue. I've got a bit of a queue down here, I think. Oh no, Vanessa's the first one into it. And then we're just going to poach. We're going to look up here. In fact, I'm going to take Vanessa off. She's going to be expensive. She's good. Bao Tang we're looking at because he's quite an interesting driver to get your hands on. Who here is cheap and can give me feedback? God, you're all rubbish. I forget how poor a lot of the drivers in the European Racing Series are. 4 to 14. That's a bit of a spread. 4 to 11 on the on the feedback. 1 to 7 is rubbish. William Evans, we looked at your rubbish. Katie, 4 to 6. Adrian. So out of them, the only one that one, Simone Santore. We'll scout you. In fact, Daisy we're going to take off because I think she's going to be too good for what we want. Is there anyone else? We'll have another, just get a queue racked up. We'll give Ceres a little looking at. No, that'll do. We've got a queue. We're doing okay. Sponsors, show me the money. We're 3-star. We've got 5% on the team marketability, so that's just based on performances. Right. We've got a couple of 2-star offers, bonuses. I like Golden Tiger. 13th position is achievable, I think. If we can get 100 grand for qualifying 13th and above, and 100 grand for finishing 13th and above. We might get that a few times. Whereas 12th, I don't know, and the upfront payment is much less. It's quite a long deal, but there's no upfront payment here. We could wait till after one race, but I'd quite like us to have a target in place, and I think 13th is quite a nice one. I'm just going to check that none of these contain any. No, they're all second. We're waiting. They're all going to expire. We can do much, much better than that. And 9th to 5th, so they don't really matter. We're just again looking for the shortest deal with the upfront payment, but they're all going to expire after the next race, so we'll leave those. But I do think we're going to take Golden Tiger, and it gives us a bit of a target, and it might give us a bit of extra money, and it gives us $1 million up front, which is always handy. What have we got here now? 300,000 a race, 200,000 a race. 300,000 is not bad. They expire after the next race. That one doesn't. We'll wait. We can afford to be patient. We've got lots of money. Okay, we've got a quick interview. There's a vote coming up for a rule change, which happens a few times a year. This one is for replacing Tontella Track B with Track A. I'll probably abstain, but I'll show you when we actually get to the vote. Then the next vote will be, the prize money will be the same for every team regarding a finishing position. And there's not much of a spread as it is at the moment, to be honest with you. And then later on we've got the banning of ERS proposed. 35 lap average races, so they're longer. Not sure. I don't think I'd like that one. But anyway, all we need to do is have this interview. They're going to ask us what we think. I'm not really sure, to be honest, because I'm not. Well, if I don't see any clear arguments either way, then I may just abstain. It will tell us before the vote which way it thinks different teams are going to vote, or different types of teams are going to vote, but we'll see. Anyway, engine design finished. So we've got the meeting coming up. Engine build is finished. We will immediately, I think, it started at 50%, which is nice. 68% is more than enough on that suspension for now. It's a quick fix in race, as I've shown. I think we'll leave that at the same rate. We don't need that to get anywhere near 100%. So it's going to be done before the race. But what are we going to build now? Looking at the race guide, which is a useful thing to do. Now, I could have maybe built a gearbox instead of that engine and had that for this race. But I want to make sure, for sure, that by the time we get into these races, we have two engines that are going to give it, well, not so much Black Sea, but certainly Milan is very horsepower dependent. Phoenix is an oval. It's all about the horsepower. Beijing, not quite so much. You don't notice it so much, not on that version of Beijing. But we're going to go now 29 tunable to 40 or 19 tunable to 30. I'm going to just go for, I mean, I could go just for that and get reliability 15, but I think we want to get more performance boost out of that. So I'm going to go for, even if we can't use it in this race, we'll have it for the power dependent races. We'll go for the oomph, and we'll work on the reliability in our workshop. Now, if we end up with one car with all the best parts in it, Sarah's probably going to get it, and we'll see what Frankie thinks about it. We did sign her up purely as a reserve driver. Performance work done, scouting on driver done. So we'll let that performance work finish. We shall get the scouting report first on Bao Tang. Now, very average, very average, but marketability is 78%. He quite often gets events that will put this up to 100. He's got a famous dad, which is +10. Chairman's happiness +10, which could be handy. especially if you're in the doldrums or you think you're going to have a tough season. He's got first lap panic, -4 all his stats first lap of the race, bless him. But he's a pay driver, and you can get him for about 100 grand a race. So he's another one to consider. We're not certainly looking at him. I've done a maximise the money playthrough, and I have used him, and he's certainly season 1, and going into season 2. We're going to keep the drivers that we've got, at least one of them, into season 2, just so you can see how their performance improves, simply because our car is going to be so much better. So stick with me. Scouting report finished. Yes, I know. Finances. See, that's modified again. I don't know why. So that's fine. That means the rest of the season, as things stand, 8 races is going to cost us 4 million, just over 4 million. But we are about to make a lot more money. But we need to get this race out of the way first. So we've got a boat. This rule will benefit teams likely to perform well on track A, which includes us specifically. I'm not sure I really care, but if it's gonna, well, this is how they think people are gonna vote. Maybe they've all done that interview. There's me. I'm gonna vote for it then. If you're sure it's gonna benefit me. Let's see, 10 votes. This is out of 10. If there's a tie, the chairman can have a casting vote. I'm sure I had that happen once. So, well, no one seems to like it. So up with 4-4, 2 votes left, 1 against, 1 for. We've got a tie. Chairman says 4. He likes it. It's approved by the chairman's casting vote. Okay, well maybe he's on the side of us small boys after all. I don't know what rules I'd like to change as it stands. I'd probably, spec spoilers. I'd get rid of spec spoilers just because we got such a good engineer. I'm just going to check in on the car. Don't let the calendar run too fast. 69%, we'll keep that going. Gearbox finished. Telemetry centre. I'd love us to have a telemetry centre. You need that for the gearboxes, to get the higher grade parts, but that's locked behind 2 buildings, so not today. Well, no, the telemetry center is locked behind design center 2. Factory level 2. So if do you upgrade the factory or the design center? I would always go for the factory first. You're going to be able to upgrade to, once you've got the money, the test track and the telemetry center. They will both then let you get the better parts, great parts, unlocked for the engine and gearbox, which is probably the best way to go. But it's a lot of money. A lot of money. I think we'd be 8 million to upgrade the factory to level 2, which also doubles our staff in the factory and the slots we've got to work on parts in, and these are about 8 million each, so it's a long way off, but it's part of the plan. Right, we have a dilemma. We can set back both our mechanics relationships 15, which I don't think is a big issue because everyone's so newly acquainted anyway, and they're not spectacular perks. They're situational. We'll look at those later as we unlock them in detail. So knocking that back isn't an issue, and by upsetting our mechanics a little bit, basically, what are they doing here? We're running expose on Grand Slam Motorsport on their all practices. We had a testimonials from their mechanics saying that they're overworked, understaffed, and in a ton of debt. Would you be willing to let us interview your mechanics to give our readers a reference point? They might have a few things to say about your own drivers, but it will bring Grand Slam Sport down a few pegs. Right, so basically the mechanic's probably going to bitch about the drivers. That's what upsets the relationship. But we can bring Grand Slam Auto Sports marketability down by 50%. Or we can be all British and not do our... Go on. Done. Gearbox. Done. Right. Engine 77%. You can get, so 40%. We'll have a look. I don't think that's going to be runnable. I'm not willing to be pitting to do 22-second repairs on a gearbox for the sake of one race. As I say, I could have built that before the engine for this race, but I think we're doing well enough already. I don't want to inundate you with spectacular success. Okay, it's travel to Munich day. They're expiring. 2 of those are expiring. All of those are expiring after this race. Pit crew, we're happy no one's going to keel over during the race. Car, I'm going to check the part fitments here. There's not a lot to worry about. The new engine, Sarah's going to get the new engine, and you will get the new... Oh, it's a 29 lap race. Okay, and before we leave for Munich, the weather forecast is very inconclusive. 29 laps, low tyre wear, low fuel burn. Right, 29 laps. Okay, it's practice day in Munich and the sun is shining and it looks like it will continue to do so. Always check these before you start doing anything for qualifying and practice. I highly recommend that behaviour. We've got Frankie in her car and we'll put Sabrina out for a little run. Why not? I can't, so I wanted to check her weight. We'll check, remind me somebody to check Sarah and Sabrina's weight at some stage. Right, car set up. Crikey, this looks quite a... How can one mechanic be quite so conclusive that we want this right up here? This is where weight's going to be an issue. I think we're going to be working up this end. The ladies under 60 kilos, we might be able to get a great or even an excellent. Guys that are up in the high 70 kilos, even 80 kilos plus, you will not. It's not a nightmare, but it happens. 2 lady drivers is quite good from that perspective. Or you could find 2 lightweight men. Right, speed balance, we're obviously miles off. We want to go low. So how low can you go? We might as well go to the bottom. And then we know we can only adjust it one way and we can judge the distance. And I think I'm getting more accurate as we go on. This one, I think we want a little bit... I'm not sure. I'm going to go there. 56%. I think that looks about right. We're going to go out. Right. It's a 29 lap race, I remembered. So that's possibly 2 sets of mediums and it's a low tyre wear track. Or it's going to be 3 sets of softs. So they're quicker. But it's going to save us about 30 seconds in the race. We're going to get both drivers out on the mediums for practice initially. Especially because Sabrina's not good enough to really skill one up by herself. If we get 2 very high feedback drivers, we'll be able to be a little bit more flexible on this. And for kart setup, you're a bit heavier. So I think we're still looking at the same kind of scenario. We might come a little bit less on the gears and we're going to stay right in the middle there, or we'll come down a couple. I think, yeah, I think we're about there. Tyres on. All done before we're in the pit lane, remember. Weight stripping. I'm going to look up before the next race whether doing weight stripping here affects the performance we're then going to start the race with. I don't want to... Well, it's not worth doing in practice because I don't want the lap times. I guess it may affect the setup. If you don't do it now but do it in the race, that might be a negative thing. Just checking out the car park. There's a lot of detail on these maps that you don't really see, and there's stuff moving about. It's quite a busy little place. There's probably a tractor over here we can't see because of the depth of field. But enough about that. Let's get these guys out. We want them on race trim. If you look here, basically you go out, I think, for qualifying trim with the all set up to do one lap, as you do basically in qualifying. You go out, do your out lap, your flying lap, and your in lap, and that's what you've got. Race trim, you've got a bit more fuel in there to put around. You could put a lot more in if you like, and I guess, I mean, I run quite heavy fuel loads, don't I? So would it be worth me doing that in practice, and the setup might be more apt to a heavy fuel load? Let's see. I don't know. Might be worth thinking about. I never have before. Out you go, Brillhart. And Frankie, stint race trim. I'm going to do the same with you. Maybe this is the secret. And there's no time penalty, not that it really matters for doing that. I've no idea about this stuff here and what effect that may or may not have on feedback and the amount of times that how quickly knowledge is accrued up here. I don't think it has any. Maybe you could actually play in practice when you've got a longer... That's something else I'd vote for, a longer practice session. I'd like to just mess around and really have time. I will do it at some stage. Oh, little jump cut there. Right, let's get these guys back in. We've got level 1 is going to be done, so that seems about apt. Get the feedback on those setups. That's it. 2 level 1s unlocked. Come on, guys, back in. Right, handling, obviously we've got catastrophically wrong somehow. The other bits we're not too far off on. So that's a great. We can only really say excellent might be about there. Handling, well, there you go. If that's poor, good, great, about there. And we'll let that, we're going to go slightly down from there on the speed balance. Slightly outside the mechanics recommendation we were. Although I think that's changed, hasn't it? I don't know why. Same tyres, same stints. Let's get level 2 done. Which is about as good as it's going to get, as I say. Until we get the staff changed a little bit. That's all cool. We want the car set up. So your handling is only okay. So you want to come up to... I forgot all about the OK category when I measured out the last one. So from OK to good to great. Back there. We'll give that a punt. I think that might help us actually, the way that shifted. We'll see what result we get there. Off you go. And fire. Nicely zoomed out for this 12 times speed. Right, we'll try to get them in just about as level 2 is unlocked. Right, Sabrina's in. Have we got enough data? We're up from 81 to 92, so that's quite good. we've definitely screwed her weight, so you need it up to max, but we're probably going to struggle. You need to lose a few kilos, young lady. Not allowed to say that, are we? If you want to get back on your grate, yeah. So we've got great and great. This might limit how high we can get now. We'll get a better result with Frankie because she's a bit lighter, about 16 kilos lighter. Gives us 16 kilos more to mess with on this adjustment, which is there. So that much more leeway from her body weight difference. Let's just give those a little bit of camber, just to move them, just to see if we happen to hit an excellent, or if it gets worse, we'll know we need to go the other way. And we haven't got long left. But I do have qualifying. Just bear in mind that you might have to be a little bit more frugal with your time, because I am trying to run these up. I'm making sure I get at least level 2 on both of these, you see. Set up, I can finish off in qualifying. If you're in the open wheel series, you don't have the qualifying window. Look at this. Excellent, great, we like it. So can you actually come into the pits, please? You're not. Practice is over. Okay. Great, good, excellent. We'll fix that in a jiffy. Right. Don't really care what lap times we got. Yeah. We're in our group. Oakham, Magyar, Marshall. We know where we stand. Go Sailing, Speed Stars. Smiley, smiley, smiley thingy. Impressive stuff from Sally Higgins, don't care. And Vecruiser, top in standings, fastest in practice. 2 reports about the same thing. How boring is that? Right. We've got qualifying, and we're going to auto pick. Completely irrelevant. We're going to do no weight stripping. We've got to sort out Sarah's. Sarah weighs less than so we've got back up to great. Maybe just because of Sarah's weight. We'll see what feedback she can give us. Handling, I think we can nail, because that was excellent. So we definitely want to go back that way in the quest for anything, or is that exactly back where we were? That'll do. And speed balance, excellent, 93%. The fact that we've lost a bit of weight by changing driver will help this out, actually. So, and we're out on the fast tyres. Shall we try? That was great, and that's great. I would say speed balance might... No, speed balance... Ooh. We'll go that. Give it a punt. Excellent on the weight, Frankie. 59 kilos. Good girl. Weight stripping, no. Off we go. Take qualifying. I'm going to pause. I'm going to check for water. That's okay. If it starts getting wet quite soon, you want to just get them out as soon as possible. Don't faff. Try to get a fast lap in. If you've got a fast lap in on softs and then it starts raining for the rest of the session, I wouldn't even bother going back out. You're never going to get a faster time on intermediates in the wet than you did on any of the slicks in a dry, and I can't see how that can happen. Anyway, Frankie, you're out first. Matey, off you go. ×4 speed. We're going to go auto with Frankie. Sarah, out you go. You don't want to send them out too quick after each other, because they'll could potentially get in each other's way. Right. Trying to see where we are. And making sure we've got some heat in those tyres. Right, let's get the tyres hot now. Get in there. Now I think we need to cool. Oh no, way overheated. I left that way too late. Sorry, Sarah. I need to do that about here on the course in these bends. Alright, off you go. Okay, we're not the worst. That's fine. I'm not going to use another set of tyres. I think Thomas will make it through. Obviously, the objective is insignificant until qualifying is done. If we can get to the next round, we can secure the sponsor objective. But for this round, this is just about not being in the last 5 and making the cut. And we don't want to see anything too spectacular. No, no. It's okay. You're above us anyway, aren't you? So Wilson popped in from last up to here, but we're still in the cut. So that's fine. Frankie, thanks. Not a problem, though. She's not last. Right, we'll take qualifying. Is it still going to be dry? Yes, right. So out you go, Sarah. Tyre choices, yes. I'm going to let this auto. We may do 2 laps. Ideally, I'd be quite happy for us to finish anywhere here. So 11th, 12th or 13th. But if we can make it through to the next round, why not? We'll give it one go. We do have to bear in mind that we start the race. If we get through to the next round, we start the race on the tyres we set our fastest lap time in this session on. So whatever you do, don't run 2 runs on the same tyres. Because then you'd actually, in theory, be lumbered with starting a race on 50% tyres. It would kind of screw you up. Right, we need to stop the clock. Where are we? How many sets of tyres have we got left? We need at least 3 sets for the race, so we can have another set now. Auto's already on. I'm going to keep track of where these set. There. No. There. Right. We can finish our lap because we started it, but we haven't got a faster time. There were no green pips, but we have made it into the last round of qualifying. So we've got a top 10 grid position, no matter what, and 100 grand. So, okay, we could have saved that set of tyres, but why not? We've still got 1 to go out. And I'm still not sure about the weather situation. Let's see. A wet session now would be great. That would save me having to worry about the tyres. Right. So we're still going to have... Yeah, you've got 1 go, Sarah. Go. Fly. Turn you on. Let's see, shall we? We came 10th in the last session out of 15. And she's got... She was faster than Olin in one of those sectors, I think. But she's now tumbling down as everybody finishes their lap. But she's not last. And, well, we're going to leave it. I don't want to put... I'm not going to risk another set of spare tyres. I think I can skip the rest of the session there, but I don't want to. We'll let it run out. Lay has got a pole position, which is quite unusual. Landvic's down here. Well, maybe there's something that they particularly like about this circuit. Okay, and Sarah has qualified 9th on the grid. 1.8 seconds a lap down on the fastest time in Q. That's based on Q3 times. She was actually quickest in Q1 by half a second. I wonder why. It must be those settings, and maybe she was feeling better. Frankie, you're fine, mate. 19th. It's not a huge gap. It's about a second and a bit in it. But that was qualifying. There must be something good about us on Twitter. Good effort from Sailing Speedstars today. I'll be hoping to eat something even better tomorrow. Now, I'm going to be honest. That was a very, very good practice day. I'm hoping we can carry some of that into the race, but who knows. Okay, it's race time in Munich. And for now, at least, there is no sign of water. So these are kind of automatic picks. Now, we've got to start. Well, Sarah's got to start on... Sarah is smoothness 9. Frankie is smoothness 8. This is a low tyre wear track. Alright, this is purely in the interest of tactical... Oh, look at that. 99%. We'll be saving that. I like that a lot. Might not be 99% when we load it back in, due to various variables. Frankie. No, you see, that's still maxed out on the lappage. I don't know. I don't know if I can trust the two-stop strategy, because I don't usually ever bank on getting more. It's more than the middle. Not with these kind of drivers. So an extra pit stop, one of which can't be fuel only. If we did one of those 14, that leaves 15 laps. So no, we don't. Oh, see, if I've got this this last moment insecurity about my drivers and whether they can make it. Frankie, we're going to give it a go, mate. We're going to give it a go. So we're banking on 15 laps out of those tyres. We'll see if we can do it. 15, so 15 plus half of 15 is that much fuel. Yep. Sarah, you're on a set of soft tyres that is going to last 6 to 8 laps. So we've got to do you on 3 sets of softs. So if we... Sorry, I just want to see what a whole set of softs is going to be. 10. 9 to 10. So, say 9 plus 7, 16 laps. This is the first 2 sets of tyres. 16 laps plus 8 is 24. Right, that's the plan. Go. No. Weight stripping. No. Maybe. Minus 30 plus 40. Sarah's, Frankie's car. I'm happy with those reliability levels, and I'm happy with those reliability... Oh, I don't know. No, I want that up there. So, minus 25 plus 35, minus 35 plus 45. the ladies are stripped. Or the cars are, I should say. Engine mode, overtake. Off we go. And let's savour this moment. There is Sarah Thomas, number 9 on the grid. And there's Frankie 19th. We like Frankie. Right, Frankie, your challenge is to do this on a one-stop strategy. I don't care how you manage it, mate. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, we'll turn the ERS on. It can't be fired in the first lap. That's what this filling up ring is here. I think also under safety cars and some blue flags, etc. That will do that. Right. I'm very tempted to put Frankie onto neutral on the tyres straight away. Very unusually early for me. Whereas Sarah will keep her mid. Now what's the temperature doing? Is it actually stable? It looks like it is staying reasonably stable. Sarah's going to push a little bit more. Although we're right at the back. How did Sarah manage to have such a catastrophic start? And I didn't even notice because I'm looking down here at dials. And that is really bad. So we've dropped from there to there in like 3 laps. Alright, we're going to go to neutral on Sarah's tyres. We want to get as far as we can. These softs, we can take them down to 10%. We're now down to 28. And we're heading around for another lap. So where are they going to be? Let's look at Sarah. She comes back round for another lap. They're going to be on 24, which means she's fine for another lap. Right. Quick maps. 23 laps. Very early pit stop, isn't it? So you're going to have to spend some time on some mediums to compensate for these, actually, aren't you? Oh, see. This is when reality eats your plan. 14 laps. So 14 laps wants 21 laps of fuel for Bernie time. So there's a little bit of a fuel top up. Nothing to look at there. 2 seconds isn't worth the risk at this stage of the race, guys. We will maybe give your tyres a bit of a push. Well, fortunately, one of the benefits of recording your gameplay is that I will be able to go back and see, and I will comment before the end of the video on whatever happened at the start of this race to Sarah. Well, that's not good, is it? Too zoomed in like that. To drop 9 places in about 3 laps. Right, Sarah is in. We've got the jacks, we've got the tyres, we've got the fuel, and go. Perfect. Just stay on conserve for a while I think about this. Fuel you can burn. Your tyres are getting a bit cold, Frankie, so we'll give them a push. And we're still looking at maybe another 5 laps, 6 laps out of Frankie to get us up to that. Well, 2 stops was 14.5 laps, but I don't know. Now that we're having to push the tyres to keep the temperatures up, the opposite problem to Dubai. And this is where upgrading the car next year with the chassis, when we have a better rating for tyre heating on our chassis, these will become a little bit easier to manage, move slower and be more liable to settle down. But at the moment it is push that is keeping the tyres in temperature. And it is push that is going to mess up any hope we had of a two-stop strategy, because Frankie is going to be in on lap 13. That's okay. That's okay. We can do this. And how are we position-wise now? Thomas, how are you doing so badly? I know you've done your pit stop, but you do seem to be lagging here. Frankie's going to do hers now, so we're probably going to end up right at the back. Now, is this the gearbox gap? I don't know. This looks not too good for now. Frankie, you can go down to 5%. Where are you? So you're going to do another lap because you've just flown past the pit lane. Right, bit of a push on those tyres. Follow Frankie around on the mini-map, and we need to check her here. 18%. We could probably get another couple of laps. No, let's see. Let's see how far we can go. We're on lap 12. We can pause whenever we like. So we've got to make our decision by up here. We're on 16%. We can take them down to 5. Yeah, we're going to do another lap. We're just not quite going to be able to make it, are we? Or are we? Let's have a really close look at this. I'm neglecting Sarah a little bit, and she is languishing at the back. I'm really not sure why. Really not sure why. But Frankie, right. You've got 10% left on your tyres. We can take them down to 5%, but you're not going to get another lap out of them realistically now, are we? So you're going to have to pit. Now, positionally, as I was saying, not too good. But, again, everybody on a two-stop strategy. Did anyone do anything weird? Did anyone make a one-stop strategy? No. And no one tried. No one tried. But we're learning. We are getting there. So I'm happy. Team, driver standings. We're 15th and 19th. We're actually above. Frank is above somebody who's racing now. That's got to be considered progress. And in the team standings, we're 8th. We've dropped back a little bit from Yuma, but I think we've pulled away. No scrutineering issues whatsoever. We are clean as a whistle. Standings again, we have just looked at. Anything interesting going on? Oh, look there. Ooh. Scrutineering has finished. Sarah has been promoted to 13th place. Because this naughty geezer down here, Magyar. Oh, right, see, this guy here, the other Magyar guy, he's been demoted 2 places because he had a dodgy part, which has now been banned, so they can't use that part again. So we got our 100 grand, we got an extra point or 2, and Magyar are even in worse position now because now they only got 9 points in that race. Drivers' Championship, 15th and 19th. Fantastic. And there we are. 10 points behind Marshall. 9 points ahead Oakham. 19 points ahead already of little old Magyar. I've been watching Motorsport for 42 years. I've never seen anyone worse than Frankie Kinney. Driver, shut up, mate. She's perfect. I want to see Sailing Speeders at the top. I just love these guys. Frankie Kinney is so hot. Hashtag in love, Jasmine. Thank you very much. Okay, we got the team report. Frankie, form 6.1. Well done, mate. Thank you very much for your work. Sarah, 13th position. 7.8 form. That's good. You're saying you went up on the last race. Frankie, you dropped a little bit. Marketability has risen 0.67%, 66%. The chairman got the 5% back of happiness that we lost, upsetting him in the interview. And we got both of the 100 grands from Golden Tiger, one for qualifying, one for our finish position. So on that race, we only lost £339,000, and that was only the third race of the season. Right, we are back at base. We'll have a quick look through the emails, as is traditional. So, Lay, you got pole, car condition update, ready to be worked on in 24 hours. That's all we really worry about. Let's have an interview. You've had some time to get used to the team now. What are your main worries at the moment? We really need to improve our car's performance level. That's quite true. Upgrading the HQ, I'm thinking long term. That's quite true. Our driver lineup is weak, so we have to think of some changes. No, it isn't. It is magnificent. It is exactly what we need. I don't have any worries at all. The team look great. Oh, I don't know. Oh, I'm trying to think of any of these. That's going to upset the drivers. That is plus 5%. I was worried the bottom one might affect marketability somehow, but that was a safe one. There, that's the one where he likes you planning for the future. We've got a scouting report finished on Peter Young. He's only got feedback 12. And our drivers are 9 and 9. 12 is better than that. That has to be said. He's cheap. He's clever. His marketability doesn't matter. 285 grand to get him out of his contract. He's got a naff beard. And he's fat. No, he's 74 kilos. That would, yeah, we've already talked about that. Pit crew, well done. Did we have any mistakes? I didn't check. Where was the pit crew mail? One mistake. Now I'm guessing that this is the man who committed it. Aris Llewellyn. I'm not going to hold it against you, mate. You're tired. You're extra tired, I'm guessing, because you made the mistake. So you're coming off there. But that's okay. We now have some viable reserves who've had a chance to... well, not reserves. This is the A team. You were the viable reserves and you've done your job. Don't worry. We're all happy with where we are. Have we got anything? Well, we're certainly not putting you on a jack. You look like you'd fall over. Anyone to hire of note before we go? Maybe he's good there and he's low mistake chance, so we're going to grab him while he's there. Because I think you have to take some of these just to start getting much better ones, but we're definitely going to have a bit of a clear out here. Zwan Akbar. No, you're too good on the rear jack to get rid of. What about you really... this one? Oh, just a moment. Player 7 with that bar in the middle. Pit crew. He's got the crappiest stamina. You. Fire. And Nanette Bottomer. I can't ever fire you. No. We'll halt the culling there for now. Okay. We'll wait. By the next episode, we'll have the car repaired, fixed back up, patched up after the race. We did okay. It's fine. What I'm really chuffed about is, look, we lost 200 grand, less than that the last race. We've still got that money in the bank. We now have offers to come in for free slots, which I'm hoping will bring us much riches. We will have to see in the next episode. Thanks very much for watching. Leave us a like, please. That's the encouragement I need. Comment if you have anything to say or any questions, and I will happily answer them or send you to somewhere you might be able to find a sensible answer. Subscribe if you like to stay in touch. Thanks very much for watching, and goodbye.